Okay. Hello. My name is Malina. As you can tell, I'm talking about feminism. And I just wanted to start off by asking, how many of you consider yourselves feminist? Can I get a raise of hands? Okay, not too many. Okay, I hope by the end of my talk that changes. So this is my grandma on my father's side. Her name is Maria. I call her Nana Maria. She's in the audience today, so. I spent a lot of my days growing up at my Nana's house. My parents had to work, and lots of days I spent at Nana's house. And you know, going to Grandma's house is always fun, but I think that I learned something big while I was growing up with her. You see, in Hispanic culture, women are expected to clean up the house and cook the meal, and boys are allowed to do whatever they want. In my case, it was going out to play in the street. My brothers and my older cousins would be allowed to go play on the street, and I wasn't. And I hated that because I was a very defiant child. You know, I didn't like rules. I wanted to do what I wanted to do. And so as I grew up, I realized that, you know, this doesn't happen in households. It happens in politics, in society. It happens everywhere around us. And people who support women's rights are feminists. Feminism is the advocacy excuse me, of women's rights on the grounds of political, social, and economic equality to men, which is often confused for misandry, which is the hatred of men, power for women. A lot of people believe that's what feminism is. But as you can see on my pie chart here, 20% of Americans consider themselves feminists. 8% consider themselves neither. 84% believe in gender equality, but don't consider themselves feminists. This is my big question, why? If we all want to support women, we all want them to have equal rights, why don't we label ourselves as feminism? It's like soap in our mouth when someone says feminist or feminism. So I looked up some facts about women. It turns out that women earn 78 cents for every dollar that one man makes for the same job. If you're a woman working minimum wage, 40 hours a week, you make $140 less than the man. Thought that was interesting. 22% of women in the national legislators are women. Only 17% of the US legislators are women. Around 2/3 of women are illiterate. 70% of the world's poor are women. And every 90 seconds, a woman dies during childbirth or pregnancy, often because the living conditions are too harsh, or you know, they're too young. So this slide, I think, is the purpose of my talk. So a lot of people think that feminism is a joke, or it's just something women use to blame men. And in the bottom right, I believe is your bottom right, it looks like the Nazi symbol. It stands for feminazi, which is what I first heard when I introduced my talk. I was in classroom and I told my peers what I was talking about. And this one boy says, "So you're a feminazi?" And I was like, what's a feminazi, you know? I don't know what that is. And I looked it up later that night, and it's just a word to describe radical feminist or very, very extreme feminist. And I was thinking, that's not what I am. I just support women's rights. Too often, you're emotional or you're crazy are ways to undermine women's passionate opinions. As the only woman in a meeting room, you're expected to be the secretary, not the CEO or the president. Women are afraid to walk to their cars alone at night. I know that this is true because my mom calls me every night just so she can walk to her car. She's too afraid that if she doesn't call me, something bad will happen to her. People think it's okay to deface feminist messages with anti-feminist jokes, such as feminazi. Catcalling, it's not a compliment, it's just harassment. Women in the media are portrayed as skinny or very well skin tone, perfect hair. Not even your favorite celebrity looks perfect. She is photoshopped 2 or 3 times. Women weren't allowed to serve in the front lines in the Army until December. That was 4 months ago. And women have been serving in the military for how long? So I think the problem with feminism is that people don't understand it. We just get caught up in what we think it is, what other people think it is. It's not to blame men. It's not for power for women. It's just to earn equality. Most women use it as manipulation to blame men, and that is why it gets a bad rep. And I think the other problem is that people don't know how to help. So I just want you all to think about a very important woman in your life, your mom, your sister, wife, your daughter, your niece. And imagine if they couldn't read, if they couldn't leave their house without permission, if they couldn't dress the way they wanted to, or if they couldn't make a proper living for your family, how that would affect you, how it would affect the people around you. And then the next step I think we need to take is to reevaluate the way we think, because girls are strong and they have feelings, and so do men, and we shouldn't put them down simply because they're a girl. And we have to pay attention to our actions, think about what we say and what we do, because what we say and do cause chain reactions with everybody. This slide is just some motivation for you. I have men, women, famous, and just ordinary people, and they're all feminists. They all believe that women should have an education, women should be able to wear what they want to wear, women should be able to say what they want to say. And I just hope that today you take my talk and just consider the things you say, not about just women, but about everybody. What you do, what you say, it matters. Thank you.